Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff. The wind is cold against your face, your knees are weak, and your heart is beating so hard you wonder if it might explode out of your chest. Below you, there's nothing but emptiness. The fall looks terrifying, and here's the question that echoes in your mind. What happens when I fall? Do I break? Do I fail? Or is this fall the very beginning of something greater? You and I have both been there, maybe not on a real cliff, but in life. Maybe it was that job you desperately wanted but never got. Maybe it was the relationship you thought would last forever but ended suddenly. Maybe it was losing money, losing confidence, losing faith in yourself. Those moments where you hit the ground so hard it knocks the breath out of you. And the first thought is always the same. This is the end. But is it really? Or could it be the most important part of your story? Let me ask you something. Do you remember learning how to walk as a child? Probably not. But here's the truth. You fell hundreds, maybe thousands of times. You cried. You scraped your knees. You wobbled. You crashed. Yet did you stay down? No. You rose again because something inside you refused to give up. That same spirit is still in you. Somewhere along the way, life tried to convince you otherwise. But the reality is you didn't just fall back then to walk. You fell to prove that rising is built into your very nature. Here's a thought to keep in your mind. If life gave you everything easily, would you even appreciate it? If every dream was handed to you without struggle, would victory feel like victory? No. Struggle gives meaning to success. Look at the people you admire. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before the light bulb lit. Imagine failing that many times. Would you have kept going? Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter even saw the light of day. Every legend, every success story you've ever heard began with the same thing, a fall. But here's the twist. Falling doesn't guarantee success. Some people never rise, some give up at the bottom. So the real question isn't, why do we fall? It's, what do we do when we fall? Do we surrender, or do we stand back up stronger? That choice is what defines everything. Picture this. A boxer in the ring, face swollen, body bruised, lying flat on the canvas after a devastating punch. The referee begins to count. 1, 2, 3. The crowd is screaming. The fighter could stay down, end it right there, and nobody would blame him. But something inside pushes harder than the pain. He rises slowly, trembling but standing, and in that moment, even before the fight continues, he's already won. Because the greatest victory is not in never falling, it's in rising again. And here's where you come in. I know there was a moment in your life when you thought you couldn't get up again. Maybe it's happening right now. Maybe you're in your darkest chapter, but think carefully. Hasn't it every past failure you survived already proven you stronger than you thought? Every time you said, this is the end, yet somehow you're still here. That's proof that your fall wasn't final. It was training. It was preparation for the moment you'll rise higher than ever before. But let's add a little suspense here. What if you never rise? What if you allow the fall to define you? What if you let the pain win? The scary truth is this, most people do. Most people hit the ground, whisper, I can't, and stay down forever. They bury their dreams right there. And maybe you've been tempted to do that too. But let me remind you, if you stay down, you will never know the story you could have written. You will never know the person you could have become. Let me share a story. There was once a man who lost everything. His business failed. His friends left him. He was broke, depressed, and had no reason to wake up in the morning. Everyone counted him out. But instead of quitting, he chose to rise one more time. That man was Walt Disney, who went bankrupt multiple times before creating one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen. Now imagine if he had stayed down. Imagine if he had accepted defeat after the fall. There would be no Disney, no magic, no inspiration for millions. And maybe right now, your story is still in that falling stage. That's why you're here. That's why this message is reaching you. You needed a reminder that your story doesn't end on the ground. It begins when you rise. Here's the hard truth. Falling hurts. It breaks your heart. It steals your energy. It crushes your spirit. And yet within that pain lies a hidden gift. Pain forces you to grow. Pain pushes you to reinvent yourself. Pain shows you what you're truly capable of. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you're uncomfortable, when you're broken, when you're forced to fight for something. Now let me pull you deeper. Think of the darkest moment of your life, the one you never talk about, the one that still haunts you. What if that very moment was not meant to destroy you but to shape you? What if life broke you down only to rebuild you into something stronger, sharper, unshakable? Doesn't that give your pain a new meaning? So why do we fall? To discover our strength, to discover resilience, to learn lessons we could never learn while standing tall. But here's where I need you to act. Don't just listen passively. I want you to make a decision right now. If you've ever fallen, if you've ever felt broken, I want you to say this to yourself. I will rise again. Whisper it. Shout it. Write it down. Because the moment you decide, the moment you commit to rising, your story begins to change. And if this message is sparking something inside you, then this is the community you belong to. So don't forget to subscribe right now. Because here, we rise together. Every story, every struggle, every fall, we use it as fuel. You're not alone. Hit that subscribe button and let's walk this journey side by side. But let me ask you again, and think carefully. What's the alternative? Staying down? Letting life defeat you? Allowing fear to win? No. That's not why you were given this life. You were born to stand, born to rise, born to inspire. Remember this. The child who fell while learning to walk eventually ran. The boxer who rose after the knockout became a legend. The dreamer who refused to quit after failure built an empire. And you, yes, you, will rise too. Because that's why we fall. So the next time life knocks you down, smile. Because you now know something most people don't. Falling is not the end. Falling is the beginning. If you believe that, if you're ready to rise, then subscribe right now. Share this with someone who needs it. And never forget this. We fall today so we can rise tomorrow. And when we rise higher than ever before. That's why we fall.